Hi everybody, I'm Wanda from Rediscover Psychological Services located in Edmonton, Alberta. It's really hot out today. It's probably about 35. So in order to just kind of escape the heat, I thought I'd come in and do a brief video on social anxiety or social phobia, which is also called. The reason why is because I've had at least 2 or 3 clients this week that have presented with social anxiety. Of course, this has been going on for many years for them, but they feel that they're just at a point where they can't cope, and they're using unhealthy coping strategies such as, drinking or using drugs, something that's been a pattern for them, but because they've been in recovery, they've managed to maintain that. But now, of course, COVID has been actually a positive factor for these people because they've managed to be able to escape, for the most part, social settings. And so anytime that you're looking at having, to socialize at any, it could be a work function, it could be a friend function, or like even strangers, some of those symptoms of anxiety come up for them. So I guess that is kind of the definition of social anxiety, is anxiety that you experience in a social settings. It could be professional or otherwise. And what you're seeing is symptoms of anxiety. So, the beating, the racing heart, clammy hands, sweating, any of those symptoms that kind of come up, and it's very specific to social settings. So that's why it's also called social phobia, having a phobia of social situations. Now, a key difference between social anxiety and agoraphobia, because you'll hear that one as well. Agoraphobia is the fear of enclosed spaces, the fear of wide open spaces, and it's basically any situation where you feel that you cannot escape if you are in danger, or even if it's a perceived danger. There's just a fear that you may not be escaped that setting if something were to happen that is life-threatening. So social anxiety is a little bit different. It's the fear of judgment from others. And so, of course, we see this a lot in individuals that grew up with emotional, physical, psychological abuse. Any 3 of those, or a mixture of them, can contribute to later adult social phobia. And it's not the only way. There's probably several other ways, perhaps bullying, or perhaps just being a shy child that never really had to, exert themselves, and they've been able to escape situations or even avoid situations where they have, been in situations to socialize. So they managed to escape that. Maybe their mother has taken over that aspect, or, maybe girlfriends in the future have taken over that responsibility in social settings. So they managed to kind of curtail that, and there we now see these symptoms of social anxiety in adulthood. So, a lot of times we see this when people are, having to go to social gatherings, for instance, where there's possibility of strangers, or even close friends and multiple of close friends, where they're going to have to talk a lot. We see it a lot at work, having, especially management positions or positions where you have to talk in front of others, give presentations, give orders to people. We see social anxiety. So, and again, it's the fear of judgment. And so a lot of times when you have social anxiety, and what we call is social anxiety disorder, we see that they're spending a lot of time afterwards relaying the things that they have said, and thinking of, oh, this person could have judged me here, and then the kind of berating ourselves comes in, and then we start putting ourselves down. And the truth is we are our own worst critic. So even in the particular time, probably nobody's judging them, but when they, replay the tape in their head, they're experiencing a different story. They're thinking that people have judged them, and oh, I'm the worst speaker, and I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I was so dumb. Why did I say that? That was so stupid. I wonder what this person thinks of me, and etc. and etc. And it just becomes this, this negative loop, and then it feeds into the I just don't want to be in that social situation to begin with. And then we start getting into problems where we're in social situations and we start getting that really heavy anxiety symptoms where our body is, our heart starts beating faster and we're sweating, and then we're going, okay, somebody's just going to laugh at me. Why bother? I'm not going to go. And then they avoid. And unfortunately, when we avoid, it plays very well in the moment. It's a very great coping strategy. If I avoid this is not going to happen. And then I don't have to worry about it. I'm happy and I don't have to replay the tape and berate myself and others aren't judging me. I'm good. But unfortunately, that prolongs the symptoms, that prolongs the problem, because we're going to have to go see people eventually, and we're going to have to talk. That's just part of everyday life. Unless we're going to, stay in our houses and be a hermit and not go out, we're eventually going to have to be in a social situation. And so we're going to be really distressed, even going to the grocery store, for instance, having to say hi to the clerk. It gets really bad in a subgroup of people. So what we want to work on here at Rediscover Psychological Services, our clinicians want to work on exposing people to social settings, social situations, and we kind of rank it from, okay, what is maybe less scary for you? What is less anxiety provoking? What is the most anxiety provoking? And then what we do is we encourage our clients to go in these social settings with tools. So tools like, grounding or breath work or, self-talk strategies, bringing in CBT strategies here. And really arming them with these skills and tools to do this. So when they find themselves, their body's starting to get worked up, and identifying really early when our bodies are starting to get worked up and starting to get into that fight flight response system, we start utilizing those skills, and then, once we've mastered one, which is mastering it is, okay, we might have these feelings still, but we're able to use our coping strategies to de-escalate ourselves and to make us feel calmer in our bodies. And then the more we do that over time, we're just going to not feel that emotional distress. And so once we've kind of went and mastered the one, we will continue going up until we're at the kind of the worst feared object. So that could be like presenting in front of a group full of strangers, for instance. And so that's kind of what we work on in therapy. For people that are really socially anxious and, it's really hard for them to leave home, we do suggest that you go visit your family doctor and see if there's something that they can do in terms of medication. A lot of people don't like going on medication, and that's just simply because, I don't want to rely. I mean, that's what I've heard from a lot of clients. I don't want to rely on medication. I don't want to do this because I don't want, to have to, do this 10 years from now. And what I like to tell clients is it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. We don't, we sometimes when we go on medication, we can go on it for several months until we've got our skills, we've built our toolbox that is unique to us that we can use in the world. And then we start transitioning out of medication and titrating that with your doctor. And so we can work really closely with your doctor in order to make sure that is safe for you. And so we really need to be talking to doctors at that point if it's something that, you feel that you can, because we don't want to be living in distress all the time. That is a horrible way of being. When you're, afraid to go to the market to buy food because you might have to talk to, the cash register, the girl at the cash register. That is not a place to be in terms of our body either, because that could cause a lot of chronic diseases. And so if we're getting to that point, that is a consideration. And of course, it's always up to the individual whether that is a method they want to pursue. But really, we can work in concert with your doctor and help you establish really good tools and techniques to help you manage those situations. Anyways, those are some of the tricks and tools that we use. If you want more, I can list a couple of resources under the link to this podcast, so you want to visit www.rediscoverpsychologicalservices.com. And yeah, check out more resources, and hopefully you can find something that works for you. Again, it's very individual, and we like to find something that works for our clients. Anyways, have yourself a great day, and hopefully you can beat the heat and just find some air conditioner or be in the basement and just get a break and be safe. All right, bye now.